Charles Barkley had a busy weekend watching people play golf, some really, really good golf and some really, really bad golf. Charles is going to relate to the latter part of that as Charles joins us on the program. Good morning, Charles. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Did you get to play any golf while you were, I know you played one hole, but did you play any golf when you were down there?
I did. I played with Justin Verlander, the great Justin Verlander, and the great Dustin Johnson on Saturday. It was awesome. And Joe Smith, the pitcher who's married to Ala LaForce, we had a really good time. I played better Saturday than I did Sunday. That's what's ironic about the whole thing.
How much pressure did you feel playing that one hole?
Well, I just choked. I felt a tremendous pressure. I was the only person there and the TV crew, and I just choked. I hit an awful – actually, the drive is the only bad shot I hit, but I just choked on the pressure, plain and simple.
You know, when you start to look at these guys out there, I thought Tiger looked unbelievable. Like, that was sort of lost in everything because we were focused on Brady having problems. He had a couple of really good shots, the trash talking. Tiger looked awesome, I think, out of all of this. Chuck, what did you make of Tiger's performance?
Well, first of all, to me, when he's healthy, he always looks awesome. He played great Sunday. He was very relaxed. You know, I thought the key to the whole thing was how relaxed the players were and how much fun they had. You know, and I think, let me just say this, Dan, if I'm the PGA Tour, and this is my piece of advice to them, if we're not going to have fans, they should mic the players. I really believe that. That's just my 2 cents for the PGA Tour. I really think they should consider, if you're not going to have fans, you can't just have guys playing golf and announcers talking. I think if they're going to be successful and have great ratings, number one, they're going to have great ratings because we need golf. We need sports. But I think they should consider having mic and the players.
There were a couple of great moments with you and Tom Brady. Here's Brady hitting that great shot from the fairway and had this to say to Charles.
Yeah.
Get in
go
there.
in!
Yeah!
Oh, my goodness!
You made it!
Wow!
Check. Take a second out. Check. Wow.
Hey,
Check.
hey, man.
Check.
That's
Check.
awesome.
Shut your mouth, Chuck. Take a little of that medicine. Get your butt out of here.
Hey.
Wow. That's what I needed.
Wow. That's pretty good stuff, Charles.
I thought it was awesome. I got a lot of love for Tom Brady. I've already said he's the GOAT of pro football. You know, to have the greatest golfer ever and the greatest football player ever out there, and Peyton Manning, who's one of the 3 or 4 best quarterbacks ever, and you got Phil, who's one of the 3 or 4 best golfers ever. Man, it was just awesome being out there. And I give those guys, number one, a lot of credit for playing in a torrential downpour. I mean, the weather was awful. But also, man, they raised a lot of money. $20 million is a lot of money. So, but I got to give those guys credit, man, because it never stopped raining the whole day, basically.
Who was the best trash talker out there?
Peyton. Peyton was taking shots at his homeboys back home. That's what I love the most about it. You know, if you're a friend of Peyton's and he's saying your name on national TV, he told one guy that he's picked up about 30 pounds during the quarantine. I mean, I thought that was hilarious. But I thought Peyton was awesome. They all were great, but Peyton was the best. And then Tom, I haven't been around Tom that much, but I thought he relaxed and had a good time. I think that was perfect, that shot he hit to shut me up. But I tell you what, man, I got a lot of love for that dude. You know, Dan, that dude hit balls like 7 hours on Saturday. You know, the guys were telling me, I said, Tom's been on the range for like 7 hours. And then, how about this, Dan? Sunday morning, he got up early and played 18 holes. And then he did a he did a workout in the parking lot. The guy says, man, Tom Brady is an animal. I'm like, what you talking about? He says, he's out there doing wind sprints and things in the parking lot. And I'm like, that was impressive to me. Like I say, to hit balls for 7 hours on Saturday, play 18 and then do a football workout on Sunday morning. That was incredible. You got to respect that dude.
How much money did this weekend cost you?
We didn't play for money. We just played for pride.
Well, no, you put up
listen,
50. You owe 50 to Brady, his charity, right?
No, he missed a green.
Oh, I thought
he missed a green. I would have gave 50 grand to the charity.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. You said maybe you could keep it on the planet or something when you.
Yeah, because he wasn't even close to the green. I said, man, I'm gonna donate 50. We talked about it. I said, Tom, if you hit the green, he wasn't even close to the green.
Was there a 19th hole?
Not after the match. Not after the match. But that was a 19th hole. That was a 1 through 18 hole on Saturday with Justin, Dustin, and Joe Smith.
Oh, you had some beverages with those guys.
Yeah, some call it transfusion. I never had it before. Might be my new drink of choice, transfusion.
But if I was going to do this again, which I'm sure the PGA Tour and TNT would want to do this again, who would you have now?
Well, I read where Drew Brees and Sergio Garcia want to join.
Would Jordan do this?
I don't know the answer to that question. I think he should. Listen, it's interesting that Tom Brady can do nothing. Peyton Manning can do nothing to hurt their reputation. But I look at the big picture. We raised $20 million for people who really needed it. If you put Michael and another pro, Drew Brees and another pro, Sergio, that's the ones who challenged the winner. Oh, I think Russell Wilson challenged the winner. So if you could get 10 teams, I guarantee you could probably wait, at least $20 million.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Would you be playing?
If they ask me to play, dude, I'm not going to – listen, as long as I can drink and smoke when I play golf, I'm good. I'm going to have a couple – listen, I'm going to have some drinks and some stogies. I'm not going to be overly concerned about how good or bad I play. I don't think Tom Brady lost a lot of sleep because he was struggling on the front nine. But man, we raised a lot of money for Feeding America and all those other charities, man, and they're really struggling. And anything we can do to help those guys, man, is worth it.
When did you realize Brady split his pants?
When he bent down and picked up the ball out the cup. And I thought he should have kept playing with his pants like that to keep the female viewership up.
We're talking to Charles Barkley, the Hall of Famer, TNT Inside the NBA analyst. I guess we're having basketball. What do you think of this format of having the top 16 playoff teams, and they're not going to have East Coast, West Coast, or Eastern Conference, Western Conference?
Well, I'm pretty sure we're going to play. Just talking to my bosses, I don't think they know exactly how they're going to do it, but they're going to play. I'm 100% sure of that. I don't know if they finalized the final format yet, but they're going to play basketball for sure. I'm 100% sure of that. It's going to be interesting. Like I say, I'm still concerned about the virus. I'm still I'm really concerned about the legitimacy of the playoffs. What I mean by that, Dan, is what do we do if one of the great players get the virus? I just worry about that. This is not anybody in particular. I'm saying Giannis, LeBron, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Joel Embiid. One of these great players get the virus. Do you take you got to take their whole team out the tournament, don't you? You can't take one player because they've been exposed to the other players. So do those guys forfeit a round in the playoffs? We can't start the playoffs, then stop the playoffs. So that kind of stuff concerns me. I don't believe Shaq said there would be an asterisk. I don't believe that but I will say if the best players get the virus and aren't able to play, then I think you'll have an asterisk.
Well, I think the asterisk is only going to apply if LeBron James wins the title, Chuck. I mean, let's be honest. That just feels like people are waiting if LeBron wins it to say, well, this doesn't really count as a full championship. Or if Giannis wins it or Kawhi wins it, I don't think there's going to be any outrage. It would just be if LeBron James won.
No, I don't believe that. Dan.
Yes,
Listen,
there's haters out there with LeBron, Chuck, and that's what's going to happen.
No, listen, nobody hate LeBron. Listen, there's been other championships that have won by shortened seasons, strike seasons. Even last year, Toronto. Do you not count them as champions because KD and Clay were out?
No, I wouldn't apply an asterisk to that. Nobody did that with San Antonio in 1999 when they won. No one's ever said.
Just agree with me.
I said they'll be there for LeBron, nobody else.
No, I don't believe that. I don't think there's LeBron hate out there. I think that these idiots and fools on television have had nothing to talk about for the last 2 months.
But those are the guys who are going to be bringing this up. This is right in Skip Bayless. This is Skip Bayless's wheelhouse, and you know that.
You know how much I hate Skip Bayless. I don't pay that dude any attention. Whoever wins it is gonna listen. Under these circumstances, you got to give them bonus points. We've never seen anything like this in our lifetime. I wish all the nurses and first responders great health, number one. And shout out to all the people who served in the war for Memorial Day. Thank you for your service and all that other great stuff. But no, I mean, there's going to be a couple fools on television talk about it, but whoever wins it, but like I say, the only way I think you can put an asterisk by it, Dan, if let's say some of the great players don't play.
Yeah.
And that to me is fair.
Yes.
If we have a couple of stars that get the virus, and first of all, like I say, you got to take their whole team out the tournament. You can't take one player out the tournament. And if a bad team gets a skate because of one of the great players on the team was able to play, then I think you can put an asterisk by it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I understand that. And I wouldn't put an asterisk by any of these teams or any of these players because it's a level playing field. Everybody's had to sort of deal with the same thing, but the NBA gets one chance. And you got to do it right because, as you said, if somebody tests positive, now all of a sudden you may be a house of cards where you just have to close up shop here.
Yeah, like I say, it's a really scary thing. Hockey's going to come back. Baseball's going to come back. So we're going to be kind of everybody's going to be looking at us, especially college football and pro football. They're going to be watching us with a fine-tooth comb, seeing how we react to every situation. I told the guys, man, I don't know if we should play because I don't know how safe. Because I would hate to see, number one, any of my players get sick. But I would hate to see a guy get his wife or girlfriend or his kids sick. I think that'll be catastrophic for sports and the NBA. I just wish everybody great health, but man, we're going to play, and it's going to be a crapshoot.
It's great to visit with you. It was a lot of fun. I thought Justin Thomas was a star too. I thought his on the course, analysis was a lot of fun with the match as well.
Well, I thought he was great. First of all, he's a great kid. He's a great golfer, got a great personality. The bottom line though is he sucks as a coach. Plain and simple.
Are you coachable? Are you coachable?
Hey, listen, he had me striping it on the range, and I couldn't take it. It's like he was a great coach in practice, but I couldn't take it to the range. That's bad coaching, Dan.
Yeah, but I've seen you on the range, and you're okay on the range. Something happens when you walk from the range, over to the first tee.
Listen, I still, even though I didn't play that hole great, I only hit one bad shot, my drive. So I had to find a positive and a negative. I got to find a way to get off the tee. But think about it. I hit two good shots to get on the green, and I should never three putt. But I was encouraged after my double bogey, Dan.
Keep your head up, all right?
Thank you, brother. Hey, man, you guys be safe. Everybody be safe, and shout out to all the hospitality workers out there who are struggling. Bless y'all.
Thank you, Charles. That's Charles Barkley, Hall of Famer, part-time golfer. Let's go around the room, best and worst of the weekend. Todd, I'll start with you.
Okay, best and worst of the weekend. My best, I attended my friend's daughter's backyard high school graduation. The parents made a speech. They had balloons, banners, cupcakes, socially distant chairs. I thought that was really nice out of a tough situation. That was supposed to be her graduation day Sunday, and they made it up as if it was just a makeshift graduation in the backyard. Worst of the weekend, in the pace lap of the Coca-Cola 600, 2 pieces of tungsten jumped out of our friend Denny Hamlin's frame rails. Tungsten's a heavy material which can cause serious injury on the track. The crew chief, the car chief, and the engineer all suspended 4 races because that happened.
Yeah, I didn't know what it meant. I just knew that, I guess if tungsten falls off your car, it's an automatic 4-race suspension there. Who knew? McLovin, best and worst.
It's all contained in the Eli Manning Twitter universe. So Eli Manning joined Twitter this week.
He was good. He was funny.
Yeah, and then I give the best to Tom Brady to come on and say, this is what Brady said, welcome Eli Manning in typical fashion. You never showed up until the fourth quarter anyway. I thought that was the best. That Eli came at him during the match was pretty funny.
Yeah, I thought it was well done. I thought Eli, sneaky good. Seton O'Connor?
My best of the weekend was Peyton Manning during the golf event, because there's been so much talk of him sort of getting in the booth and seeing more of him on TV as an announcer. And it just sort of gave you a little bit more of him, sort of what he's like when he's just being himself. That, I don't know, I think he's going to be pretty great should that day come.
I would love to see it. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he's going to be an analyst. Now, this was brought up to me a couple of times by a couple of people who work in TV. Hey, do you think Phil would be a good analyst? Phil Mickelson. And I went, I don't know. There's a know-it-all feel to Phil, and you have to know when to stop talking. He's very bright, and he understands, the nuances of golf, which is what we want to know. But I want, somebody's laughing at themselves. Faldo became a lot better golf analyst by laughing at himself, because he was pretty stoic when he played, and he didn't share a lot of personality there. When we've been around him, I found him to be great and self-deprecating, and that's what you need. You won your majors, have a little bit of fun, be human when you're doing that. But I don't know if you would have Phil try to out Tony Romo, and that would make me a little nervous. Do you have a worse there, Steve?
Oh, boy, do I ever.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is
this
things are going so well today. I hate to do this to you guys, but official word that Nickelback night has been canceled. Salem Red Sox. Yeah.
I think you got it right with Nickelbite.
Nickel bites. Yeah, Nickelback night canceled.
Postponed or canceled? That's a big difference.
Well, I don't know, but it doesn't sound like it's happening. It was supposed to happen next week, so.
And they sent us all those Nickelback albums, or the band did. I'm not going to send them back, but the band or their manager sent me all of their albums, and I appreciated that. Paulie, best and worst of the weekend.
Jeez, I don't know if I could get worse than that, but Nickelback night canceled. Patrick Ewing getting the coronavirus.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, that was bad too.
Yeah, that was bad. I heard it. That he's the last person I've hugged in my life, besides my wife and kids, maybe. So that was that one hurt. I thought the best was TNT bringing in Barkley on the golf event. Barkley is not scared to jab people. He really makes almost any event better as an on-air host. He can all the golfers know who he is and can have fun with him, and he can bust chops and take a beating. He's pretty good on air.
Yeah, but that's what makes Charles so good. Is Charles can say something, he can be serious about something, or he can dress up something that is serious and have a little fun with it. But you can also fire parting shots. When Brady had the line, you said, I thought this was a champions event. And it was, I went, whoa, I love that. But, Charles loves to just laugh or make people laugh. He just wants to have a good time. And if he's the butt of the joke, he takes it, because he certainly dishes. Dean Blandino works for Fox, NFL rules analyst, former head of officiating for the NFL, and he joins us on short notice. Good morning, Dean. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Dan. Thanks for having me.
Let me ask you about this Sky Judge and what is being proposed. What is it supposed to be and what it's going to turn out to be, in your opinion?
Yeah, so this came from two clubs actually. The Chargers and the Ravens got together, and there were two proposals. One was called a booth umpire that could help the on-field crew obviously sit upstairs, use video to help with administrative things, clock issues. And then there was a second concept called the STAR concept, senior technology advisor to the referee, that would get involved in more subjective calls, player safety fouls, things like that. So really, it's taking the PI review that we had last year and adding some elements to it and allowing someone upstairs with access to video to help the on-field officials as they officiate the game.
But there was no call on the game with New Orleans and the Rams. Could the sky judge initiate something that the officials didn't call on the field?
So the way it's been proposed right now, it doesn't look like pass interference would be a part of that. And again, this, as far as I know, is not going to a vote for a regular season rule. This would be a preseason experiment.
Yeah.
Look at it during the preseason, kind of work out some of the kinks, and then potentially in 2021 implement it.
But you also had helmet to helmet on that play. So they missed the PI and there was a helmet to helmet. Could the sky judge then say, "Hey, I got a helmet to helmet, guys," because he can't bring up the pass interference? Would that be safe to assume?
Yes, if the sky judge had a hit on a defenseless player, then that would be part of the list of plays that they could get involved in. And so that play, like you said, had two elements: pass interference, which was obviously everyone was talking about, but like you said, there was forcible contact to the head or neck area, and that is something that is in that list of plays that the sky judge could get involved.
I was told by somebody involved in this process yesterday that there's a concern that the sky judge could see a lot of things elsewhere on the field, and then how involved is the sky judge going to be? He's big brother watching out, but do you have to go to him, or can he go to you if he says, "Well, I got an egregious holding call against Julio Jones on the other side of the field"?
Yeah, that's the slippery slope. When we start talking about officiating the game with video, then you start to see things, right? You can slow it down. Maybe there was a hold on Julio Jones. Maybe the left tackle actually moved prior to the snap. Where do you draw the line? And that's where I think it becomes very dangerous to get into this realm. We saw what happened last year with PI review, and now you start adding these subjective fouls. Where do you stop? Because at some point we got to say, look, officials are going to make mistakes just like players and coaches. We have to minimize them, but we can't be re-officiating every play.
He's Dean Blandino, Fox NFL rules analyst and former head of officials for the NFL as far as replay goes. How often would you contact the officials on the field that we didn't know about when you're from the home office? Can you talk about this now of how often you'd actually do that?
Sure. Look, it would happen from time to time. I mean, we had a plan in place, especially during the postseason, where if there was something, and this was going to be a break glass in case of emergency situation, right? This was going to be the Saints Rams. This was going to be something significant. We're not talking about something in the first quarter. This had end of game impact. That we had a code word. I would get involved. I would communicate to the referee. We would get the officials together. They would have a conversation, and we'd figure it out with the help of the video, right? That's not something that would happen very often. It would be in that isolated instance where if this is a play that we're going to talk about for years to come, let's get it right now, even if it's not within the realm of the rule, and let's deal with it now. Didn't happen very often, but we did have that in place.
What was the code word, and what's one of the plays that you remember?
It wasn't, the code word probably changed from referee to referee. It was something that we knew, we established that before the game. It could be Mayday, anything. I don't remember all the specific words. Could have been Dan Patrick, you're big in the officiating.
Of course I am.
So,
yes.
So that's what, in some games we would use Hockey really, really light juice for that. But, I remember, I remember there was one game, I'm not going to get into the particulars, but there was a pretty significant miss on a player safety foul that the officials on the field missed. We picked it up in replay. We saw it, communicated down to the referee after the play. It was a change of possession, so we had some time. Referee got the covering officials together. They talked about it, and they threw a flag. It happened late, but it was the right call. Again, that didn't happen very often, but who knows if that had happened during that Saints-Rams game, what would have happened after that? The Saints go to the Super Bowl. Maybe we don't have a PI review. Look, it's not an easy subject. I know there's probably people that feel, on both sides of the fence, but that's something we felt was important during that time.
But you're at the home office. You're at Mission Control. So you have all these screens there that you're watching, and then when do you realize, hey, Dean, you got to see? Do you have people who are spotters to then alert you to how important a call is?
Yeah. So every game, you'd have one person that's responsible for monitoring that game. If you have an early window on Sunday, you could have 8 or 9 games going on. So it's impossible for 1 or 2 people to see everything. So you have one person that's assigned to that game, and they may call you over if they see something. They've got experience. They've been trained. Some have officiating experience. It was easier during the postseason because you only have one game going on at a time. So everybody was on that game. I could focus solely on that game, and you were able to pick up more things. But again, we would only get involved outside of replay if it was something significant that was going to have an impact on the outcome.
Is this still going on, that Mission Control can then get a hold of the head linesman or the field judge, whoever it is, and says, I got a mayday here?
Yeah, it's happening. I think it happens more with administrative things, the clock, fixing a spot, but there's no question that's happening. There's communication. The on-field crew may check. They may check upstairs with replay and say, what do you think about that this situation, or replay may see something.
But why didn't that happen in the Saints-Rams game, Dean?
That's a great question. I don't know. Look, it's easy to sit here after the fact. I've been in that position. During Super Bowls and championship games. There's a lot of pressure. I would hope that if I was in that same position, I would have done something. It's easy to say after the fact. I don't know. I don't know what was going through, the people in the command center in their minds at that time. But obviously, had it happened, things would look a bit different today.
I don't know if you feel the same way. I've stressed this opinion before. I don't want all-star officiating crews in the postseason. I want you to have my back for 16 games during the regular season. We know each other. You can come up to me and say, Dan, I think you missed that one. Let's huddle up. And I don't take it personally. I know that you have my best interest at heart. I thought that the all-star officiating teams, maybe there's a lack of communication. Maybe there's ego. Maybe you don't want to embarrass somebody. I don't know if that factored in the Saints-Rams game, but it felt like there was one of the officials is over by Peyton, and I thought he was going to run in to say, hey, we got something here. The official who was right there during the play waves him off. And it struck me as strange, and maybe I'm overreading it, but I just think the All-Star crews, I like that you got rewarded. I'd rather reward a team for what they did during the regular season. What do you think of that?
No, there's no question. Look, I've been on both sides of that, and I understand the crew concept. Obviously, there's pros to that. You've been working together all year. You create that bond and that continuity, and the communication is so key because you've been doing it all along. Whereas the people that like the All-Star crew, they say, well, you've been compensating for a weak member of the crew all year. Do you want that person in the biggest game of the season, on their own? So I think there's a balance there where you keep the crew together as much as possible. But if you do have, I guarantee if we said to an NFL team, look, I'm going to take your worst offensive lineman and I'm going to replace him with a Pro Bowler for this game, they'd probably jump at that. But again, I like the continuity of the crew. I don't know how much that went into that play. Mm-hmm. I just think those officials reacted. Maybe had they been on the same crew, there might have been more communication. Again, it's all speculation at this point, but I do understand the crew concept, and I think you keep the crews together as much as possible.
The XFL with the kickoff, or there's no onside kick, and now the NFL is toying with the 4th and 15 instead of the onside kick. What do you think of this?
Yeah, I don't necessarily. I understand.
That
Look,
didn't
it's-
sound.
Yeah, I know. I'm really. It's a very positive. Look, I'm all for change, but I don't like change for just change's sake, right? I like the tradition of the game. I still think the onside kick, there's a chance. You look at the numbers, yeah, in 2018, it had dropped drastically because of the rules changes, but last year, it was up, 12, 13%, which is its historical number. I like the onside kick. I don't like a gimmick. 4th and 15. I just feel like there's a lot of unintended consequences we have to see. Is it a safer play? Nobody knows. Nobody knows if 4th and 15 is safer than an onside kick with the new rules changes in terms of formation. So I like where it is. I understand the reason. I know we need teams to have an opportunity to come back. You want closer games. You want more exciting finishes. I just think there's a whole host of things that have to be worked out on 4th and 15, in that situation. What about penalties? Are you replaying the down if the offense pushes off and they get offensive pass interference? Are we trying it again? What about the clock? All of these different things. I would like for the league to work those things out and then have a good, healthy discussion over the course of time before they implement a drastic change like this.
Dean, it's always great to touch base with you. Tell Mike that we said hello. Is Pereira, is he behaving?
He's in the other room. He's in my lounge right now.
But you two live together, right?
We do. We have like a real world situation. So all the officiating experts, Steratore, Macaulay, we're all in one house.
I like that. Dean, thanks for joining us.
All right, Dan, take care.
That's Fox NFL rules analyst, and he also worked with the XFL.
Fellas, this is a fun day. The National Day calendar, I like to have little pithy jokes around. Today is National Paper Airplane Day. And
Oh, boy.
See, you know where I'm going.
I know exactly where you're going with this.
It's National Paper Airplane Day. I think it was about 2 years ago, if memory serves me right. We're out in California, and we were playing around, and we met up with Joe Ayub. He was a former really good quarterback at Cal, but he's also the world champion paper airplane thrower. I think he threw it like 250. Was
the world champion paper airplane thrower.
So, Dan, that day we had a friendly, as they say, and I can't even throw a fit. I'm not athletic. I threw it 60 feet on my first attempt.
Whoa! There you go, kid!
Joe, feeling the pressure, threw his, I think, 45 or something like that out.
Crumbled.
Now, if you recall, Michael Jordan likes to rub it in on people. I want to give you an admission. For the past 2 years, every 3 or 4 weeks, I'll just text Joe and say, "What's up?"
Especially today.
Yeah, today is like a holiday. But it's like a
What's up? Not your paper airplane.
yeah,
Oh.
I may need some lines today.
Burn.
Kind of like Michael Jordan in the documentary. It reminds me of Kelly Lynch, her husband.
Oh, boy.
From Roadhouse. Her husband, Kelly Lynch was in Roadhouse, and her husband was just he's a normal guy. And the Murray brothers, Bill and his brothers, always text Kelly Lynch's husband, "Hey, Patrick Swayze's taking care of your wife in Roadhouse right now." That's what I do every week with Joe Ayub.
Yeah, whenever that movie is on,
Yeah.
and any of the Murray brothers see a scene where she's hooking up with Patrick Swayze, they send him a note saying, "Hey, Roadhouse is on right now."
That's brutal.
Or Kelly Lynch's husband sitting there trying to have a meal.
Yeah, but he's still married to Kelly Lynch, so
Yeah, that's the worst thing.
yeah.
Good point. I got to go text Joe.
Let's go around the room, and what did we learn on the program? Back left with Todd.
Charles Barkley thinks the PGA Tour should mic the players. If you're not going to have fans in the gallery there, let's spice things up a little bit.
Well, the hard part is you got to wear that earpiece, and that's uncomfortable. Then you have the battery pack with your microphone on, and some, I think they had 2 battery packs in case one went down. That will take some getting used to. The earpiece, that would take some getting used to. McLovin?
Charles says he'll play in the next match as long as he can drink and smoke cigars.
Sure, why not? There's no rules. Seton?
NFL officials using code words.
Mayday, Mayday.
Mayday, Mayday.
I thought there'd be something a little, saucier than that. I mean, come on. Paulie, what'd you learn today?
I think we all learned, apparently, the NFL for years had a sky judge back in New York.
Oh, we just got the picture from with little Tom here in South Dakota. Oh, that's cute.
Tommy.
Yeah, got his Tom Brady T-shirt on. Fritzy, what did I learn today?
I think we're a bit more certain that MJ had something to do with Isaiah Thomas not being on the Dream Team.
What we learned brought to you by LegalZoom. They made it easy to set up the right estate plan without leaving your home. Take care of your family today. The right estate plan at LegalZoom.com. Great to be back. Good to have Seton and McLovin in the studio. We'll do it again tomorrow. Seton, Paulie, Fritzy, McLovin, yours truly here on The Dan Patrick Show.